Welcome to the information session for the Special Education program at the Watson College of Education at Cal State San Bernardino. Why choose CSUSB? As you can see, between the years of 2000 and 2021, we prepared almost 14,000 students to complete their credential in multiple subject, single subject, as well as special education. We serve Riverside and San Bernardino County areas. Our program includes the English Learner Authorization. Our classes are offered in state-of-the-art building and facilities, and our tuition is still quite affordable. Students who complete our program are considered highly qualified, and they are hired by public, private, as well as charter schools. The areas of specialization that we offer includes mild to moderate support needs, extensive support needs, and early childhood. Both mild to moderate and extensive support needs would authorize you to teach K through 12. You could teach elementary school, middle school, or high school. The highest grade level for the early childhood program would be kindergarten. We offer both the student teaching pathway as well as the internship pathway. Our program is offered as a hybrid, meaning that a portion of your class is online and a portion is face-to-face. Our student teaching program is a 32-unit program. We admit both fall and spring semesters. Our internship program is 47 units. Also admits students fall and spring. As a student teacher, you would be placed in a classroom with a credentialed teacher your final semester in the program. You are expected to report to your student teaching site Monday through Friday, the full day, so you're not able to work during the day during your student teaching timeframe. All applicants are admitted to the student teaching track. If you're interested in the intern program, additional admission requirements are included and additional units are required. Our interns complete a 47-unit program. They are also admitted fall and spring. As an intern, you would be teaching at your site where you've been hired to teach, and you would be supervised in your classroom every semester. By the way, our student teachers are also supervised. A university supervisor will come out to the classroom where our student teachers have been placed and observe them there, and they are graded. Our interns are supervised in the classroom where they've been hired to teach, and they are supervised the entire time that they're in the intern program. By the way, all of our classes are offered in the evening. They don't start before 5. Therefore, even our student teachers often hold jobs prior to their student teaching semester. And our interns, they're teaching special ed students during the day while they take their courses with us in the evening. Again, our program is offered as a hybrid, so our students are not required to come to campus for each class. The program coordinator for both our student teaching and our internship program is Dr. Shannon Sparks. We're going to take a look at our program admission requirements. They include an advising form for some, transcripts, 2 recommendations, a personal statement, 45 hours of fieldwork experience, proof of a valid certificate of clearance or teaching credential, a negative TB test that's no more than 4 years old, and the GPA admission requirement for the credential program is a 2.5. I'll talk more about the master's program, and if you're interested in the master's, the GPA requirement is a 3.0. If you're interested in both the master's and the credential, and you have at least a 3.0 GPA, you can apply for both at the same time. However, if you're interested in both, but your GPA is not a 3.0, but at least a 2.5, you can apply for the credential program, and then once you get to a 3.0, you can go back and apply to add the master's degree. So one of the first admission requirements is proof that you've attended an information session. An advising form will be sent to you after attending. You will need to upload your advising form onto your application on Cal State Apply. If you are not a CSUSB alum, you will be required to submit official transcripts to us as well as unofficial. Your unofficial transcripts will need to be uploaded on Cal State Apply. Your official transcripts will need to be sent to COE Program Admissions at csusb.edu. Again, COE Program Admissions at csusb.edu. Now, transcripts are only required for individuals who have not completed a degree at CSUSB. So if you are not a CSUSB alum, you will have to submit unofficial transcripts on to Cal State Apply, and you will have to send official transcripts to our program admissions office. These will include transcripts from every institution you've attended, including community college. However, if you are a CSUSB alum, you are not required to submit transcripts unless you've attended an institution after CSUSB. If that is the case, then you will have to submit unofficial transcripts for that institution and then official transcripts as well. 2 recommendations are required. You can obtain a recommendation from a professor, an employer, or a supervisor. We do not use letters, however, we utilize forms. On Cal State Apply, you will find a tab labeled Recommendation. You will need to enter the name and email address for the individuals that you'd like to recommend you. Cal State Apply will send them an email to let them know you've requested the recommendation, give them access to the form electronically, and they send it back to us electronically. So it's an entirely electronic process. Be sure that you give your recommenders the application deadline date so that they know to get it in time. We also require a personal statement from you. The details of the statement is on Cal State Apply. By the way, the entire application process is completed via Cal State Apply, so everything is done online. The program also requires you to show proof that you have at least 45 hours of fieldwork experience in a classroom K through 12. It does not have to be special education, however. If you are a paraprofessional, if you've done substitution, if you have visited a class as a result of a class that you're taking and you're required to do observation, if you've spent time in your child's class or your niece or nephew, all of that counts. A letter on letterhead from the teacher, administrator, or HR is sufficient. Otherwise, you can use the fieldwork experience form that we can send to you, have them fill it out and sign it, and you're going to upload that on your Cal State Apply application. You will also need to submit proof that you have a valid certificate of clearance or a valid teaching credential. A negative TB test is required, and it cannot be over 4 years. You have to submit an actual test result. Risk assessment questionnaires are not acceptable. Finally, the GPA requirement for our credential program is a 2.5. The GPA requirement for a master's degree is a 3.0. You can apply for the master's and the credential at the same time if you have at least a 3.0. Otherwise, you can apply for the credential if you have a 2.5 and then add the master's later once you get to a 3.0. We'll talk more about the master's as well. Once you've submitted all of the items that we just discussed, it will be reviewed by our program admission staff. Correspondence regarding your application will come from our program admission staff. Once it's been verified that you've submitted all the required documents, you will be conditionally admitted. Now, subject matter is not a requirement for early childhood, but it is a requirement for mild to moderate or extensive support needs. However, you can be admitted to the program prior to showing proof that you've met subject matter. You will need to show proof that you've met subject matter prior to student teaching or prior to being admitted into the internship program. In other words, you cannot student teach without having the subject matter met, and you cannot be admitted as an intern without having your subject matter met. There are a variety of ways to meet the subject matter requirement. You could complete a specific academic degree that's identified in AB 130, which is an assembly bill that was passed a few years back. In other words, you may have an academic degree that is identified in that assembly bill. If that is the case, you've met subject matter. Another route to meet subject matter is by passing the CSET exam. There isn't a specific CSET for special education, however. You could have completed a subject matter waiver program. Also, you can request to have a domain evaluation. For a $75 fee, a faculty member can review your transcripts and confirm which courses you've taken meet subject matter and outline which courses you need to complete in order to meet subject matter in its entirety. You would be required to complete the additional classes in order to meet subject matter. Or you could pass a portion of the CSET and then apply for the domain evaluation for the other portion. Successful completion of the CSET and successful completion of the courses outlining your domain evaluation would allow you to meet subject matter. Again, you can be admitted to the program without meeting subject matter, but keep in mind, before you can student teach or before you can be admitted as an intern, you must meet the subject matter requirement. After you've submitted all the required documents and it's been reviewed by our program admission staff and confirmed that everything is submitted appropriately, you are given conditional admission. At that point, you're allowed to enroll in our prerequisite courses, which are ESPE 5530 and ESPE 5531. A B- or better is required. If you're interested in the intern program, there are additional steps. An additional course is required. A pre-intern course, ESPE 5532, is required, and we have to ensure that you've met the U.S. Constitution requirement. After confirming that all the courses have been completed successfully and you have the U.S. Constitution, you can apply for the intern program. A separate application is required, and it's available on the special education website under the tab Forms. Scroll down until you get to the intern application. Please note, you are not officially an intern until you've been hired. Once you submit your intern application, it's been evaluated and determined that you've met all the requirements, you will get an intern eligibility letter. That is the letter you will use to apply for teaching positions. Once you are hired, you'll be required to apply for an internship credential, which is good for 2 years. So the entire time that you're in the intern program, that is the legal document that you're teaching on. Please note there is an 8% salary deduction the entire time that you're in the intern program. So the intern program deducts 8% from the first step of your salary the entire time that you're in the intern program. And you will hear more about this once you have applied to the intern program. Interns are supervised in their classroom the entire time that they're in the program. If you're interviewing and the semester begins and you are not hired, you can start to take your classes. And once you are hired, then you will just continue to take your classes and you will begin to enroll in intern supervision. But do keep in mind, you are not officially an intern until you've been hired. By the way, you are required to find your own teaching job, and you have to secure a job in Riverside or San Bernardino County. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to Dr. Shannon Sparks, the program coordinator for the intern program. Back to the master's program in special education. The good news is that the majority of the classes from the credential program also count toward your master's degree. 3 additional courses are required for the master's, and you also have to choose between a comprehensive exam or a project. The master's program coordinator is Dr. Gemma Kim. When you are initially admitted to the program, prior to the beginning of the semester, you will be invited to attend a new student orientation by Dr. Sparks. At that orientation, you will receive a program plan specific to the credential program. After your second semester in the program, you should reach out to Dr. Jim Kim so that you can get your graduate approved program plan, which would be consistent for the master's degree. Again, Dr. Jim Kim is the master's degree program coordinator, and Dr. Shannon Sparks is the coordinator for the credential program. If you're interested in applying for financial aid, please make sure you complete your FAFSA. A couple of grants that you may want to consider include the Golden State Teacher Grant as well as the Teach Grant. The Golden State Teacher Grant will give you up to $10,000. However, it's no longer an option for the interns. So if you're planning to be an intern, you will not be able to apply for that grant. The Golden State Teacher Grant requires a commitment from you to teach special ed in a Title I school for 4 years after you complete your credential program. As long as you fulfill that commitment, it's free money to you. However, if there's some reason you don't fulfill that commitment, the grant converts to a loan and you're required to pay it back with interest. The Teach Grant will give you up to $4,000 per year, up to 2 years. The Teach Grant has a GPA requirement of a 3.25, and you must maintain that GPA throughout the program. They also require that you make a commitment to teach special ed for 4 years in a low-income school. Again, as long as you fulfill the commitment, it's free money to you. If you don't fulfill the commitment, you're required to pay the grant back with interest. Any questions about financial aid, please reach out to our financial aid office, and their contact information is available there. Finally, I'd like to share with you a program that we offer called Project Impact. It's a program that's designed to encourage more minority males to become teachers. If you are a minority male, or if you know of a minority male who may be interested in teaching, please reach out to Dr. James Huff. It is not a separate credential program. It's just a program to come alongside to support the minority males. They offer mentoring and support, pre-internship experience, and some tuition support is also available. So please reach out to Dr. Huff if you are a minority male and you're interested, or if you know of a minority male who may be interested. Thank you very much.